Warning, this video is for informational purposes only. Do not attempt. Hey, Jimmy here with Phoenix Home Inspections. This one, I usually sometimes show you guys tips and tricks. This one, don't recommend doing it because this is extremely dangerous, but it's a old man's way of getting rid of yellow jackets. Now the problem with some people are severely allergic to them. Like you get stung, you can go on can't even think of it. A severe allergic reaction where your throats will swell up, you'll quit breathing. Now, it's cool, it's getting dark. I would not approach this nest when they were angry after I came back, but just to show you what I'm looking. You see that hole there. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. You can see there's one guy there. They're still kind of active. They're coming in and out. I'm probably 2 feet away from the hole, but it's cooler, so a lot of them are in that nest. What I'm going to do is wait until it gets a little bit more dusk, because I still probably got 8 or 10 of them flying around. They're not bothering me because I've not bothered their nest right now. They were bothering me earlier, because I went over with a mower twice and it really made them mad and they got me twice. But the old method of doing it is just pouring gasoline or oil down into it. I go one step further, which is extremely dangerous, is I light a wick and then I throw it on the hole. Diesel fuel is actually safer to use if you got diesel fuel. Oil, it doesn't have an explosive flash rate, but as they're still a little active, I'm going to hold off for a second and I'm going to light these suckers here probably in another hour. Okay, so what I want to reiterate is do not do this at home. Meanwhile, it's still not quite dark enough, so I'm going to hold off for a second. I went and took a shower. Talking about the old style way of treating yellow jackets is pouring gasoline or diesel fuel in the hole. For the stings that I got, what it is, it's like a tablespoon of baking soda with a couple drops of water, makes a paste, put it on there. They say it pulls the venom out. It kind of also soothes or makes the sting feel a little bit better. And then I also took Benadryl, so I might be a little sleepy. Now, if you've never been stung with a yellow jacket before, what you need to know is the first time, you usually don't have to worry too much about it. What you've got to worry about is the second time. It's like all allergens. Whenever you have an allergic reaction, anaphylactic was the word I was trying to think of earlier. I was thinking of all 8 other shocks. Anaphylactic shock is an allergic reaction. So usually if you get exposed to an allergen, the first time your body's like, well, what's this? And then the second time is when your body goes into overdrive. So the first time you get stung, you probably don't have to worry about too much. But if your throat starts swelling, your joints start aching and stuff like that, you need to get medical attention quickly. But if you got a fire department, local fire department that has EMTs that are close by, a lot of times they carry EpiPens. EpiPens is what helps counteract the allergic reaction. So if you're having an anaphylactic shock, they can actually hit you with that EpiPen. So going back to the method I'm using, unfortunately I'm using gasoline because I don't have anything that's diesel. Diesel doesn't have, the flash point is not as low as gasoline, and what I mean by that is gasoline's technically not flammable, the liquid itself. It's the vapors. So if you're pouring, say I lit something, threw it down, and I poured, it'll fall those vapors right up into the can, and that can will explode. So what I'm going to do is take my gasoline, pour it into the hole, and I got to be careful because if I spill it, wherever I spill it, when I light that whole fire, it's going to go, whoop, it's going to follow everything. So I'm going to use kind of like a wick. Forget what you see in the TVs. A cigarette, lighting it, throwing it on gasoline will not ignite it. That amber or the cherry is what some people call it on the cigarettes, is not hot enough to actually ignite it. So using an actual flame, which I'm just wrapping up paper, making it tight so it doesn't burn real fast. That way I can throw it on that hole, and then you'll see it. It'll go boom. You know, diesel fuel, it'll just light. You can almost, don't do it, but you can almost pour diesel fuel on it. So let me wait a little bit longer. They're not as active right now, but they're still coming and going out of that hole, and I don't want to pour on it because you can fact check me on this. I'm just doing this by the hip, but I believe when you get stung by these yellow jackets, in the same way with hornets, they hit you with a pheromone and it attracts all the other ones. So when you get hit, you want to take off. You don't want to be like, oh, what happened? Because you've got more coming. So one of the worst experiences I had was picking up a bag of topsoil. They made a nest in that topsoil. They hit me. They hit my dog that was near me. We ran all the way in the house. I was getting stung the entire way in the house. I got in the house. I actually had 3 or 4 still in the house. I saw on the walls and the windows. And I sat down and I was kind of getting nauseated because I got stung like 12 times. I felt a couple going up my pant leg. So they will chase you with that pheromone. So you want to get away from them as fast as you can. But anyway, next shot will be me lighting it. Okay, it's 8:10. I'm going to go ahead and try to light these. I've seen them go back in. Again, I'm just showing you, demonstrating you the old-fashioned way of treating for yellow jackets. Do not attempt to do this yourself because a lot of things can go wrong. If I pour too much, spill it, whatever, I could actually catch on fire, catch something else on fire. Get too much and it's compacted. Yeah. Anyway, if you don't get enough of it, they can actually come out at you. So I'm going to actually try to light this now. So make sure that I'm still in the video. None of them are in the hole looking at me, so they've all pretty much got into their nest. I'm making sure that I am pretty much ready to pour and light. Got one straggler. I was going to see if it'd go in its hole. I had about 5 or 6 of them go in. Okay, let's do this. Pour it in there so that way they don't come flying in at me. I've got the can far away. I'm using a butane torch because I know it'll actually light. There's fumes coming out of that hole, so it should just ignite once it hits it. Well, you know he's kind of let this get wet. You saw how that went back through there? That was all vapors. You guys see where I've got a little bit of fire here? This is where I kind of spilled it. They didn't actually come out at me. A couple of them that were still stragglers went to the hole, smelled that gasoline, and immediately got away from it. But I don't have to worry about getting stung now unless there's a few stragglers out here and I happen to step on them. But pretty much I've took care of that hole. So I'm just going to let that burn. Being environmentally friendly, by letting it burn, it's actually removing all the gas that I poured in. So I'm just going to let that burn. The heat should kill any of the nest. The amazing thing about yellow jackets is if you dug that ground up, they could have a massive nest in there. So and the size of that hole, who knows how big that nest is. But I'm just going to let that stuff sit there and burn. But it wasn't as, it didn't flash as much as regular gasoline does because that was an oil mix. But you can see how dangerous that was, me lighting it. So my paper did not want to burn right. Last thing I want to do is walk away because the grass is kind of dry and that ground and vegetation can burn. Last thing I want to do is catch my neighbor's house on fire. So I'm going to sit here and watch this for a little bit, then I'm going to put it out. So until next time, I'll catch you later with some other useful tricks. But like I said, this one is kind of one of those, it's just for informational purposes, letting you know what's involved in getting rid of yellow jackets the old-fashioned way. Now, yellow jackets are primarily in the ground. They can also get in underneath your siding. You don't want to do this to your house. You want to contact a professional to come out and treat it. So until next time, Jimmy with Phoenix Home Inspections. I'll catch you later.